In this video, I'll show you how to display data from any RESTful API endpoint in your Dixa conversations. The way we're going to do that is by using Dixa's custom card feature. Custom cards display right here. And we'll use a tool called FactBranch to load data from your API and render a beautiful UI. So first, we're going to head to factbranch.com and create an account. Once you've done that, you'll see this overview. And I'm going to go ahead and select Show Data in a Dixa custom card. This creates a data pipeline. And data pipelines in FactBranch consist of a trigger. In this case, a custom card in Dixa triggers the data pipeline. Then we can run, we can actually have a number of nodes that run queries against a database, or in our case, an API endpoint. And finally, we want to render a UI. So I'm going to go ahead and create a REST API node. If your endpoint requires an authentication, just go to the authentication tab and say create REST API credentials. In our case, I'm just going to use simple basic auth. Hit save and you'll be forwarded back to your REST API node. And the API I'm going to use is just a very simple demo API endpoint. I'll have to post and supply a request body. If I run this right now, it'll probably tell me no entry found. What it requires me to supply is an email parameter. And I'll use the customer email address that we get from the Dixa custom card. And I've copied a placeholder. And if I paste it here, it will be replaced by whatever gets sent from the custom card. So let me close the bracket, run it again. Oh yeah, and we don't have any data for test.example.com, so I'm going to change the test input data here to my own email address. Save, run again. And we get just 3 data points and the items. Because this is a demo API, we can supply items. So for example, if we say foo, bar, bars, run it again, it'll give us back all those items. This is just for demo purposes. Good, if we go back to the data pipeline overview, let me explain what's happening. So this gets triggered by whenever somebody in Dixa opens a conversation and Dixa loads our custom card, then whatever the trigger gets from Dixa, it sends to the API node. And whatever the node gets back from our API, it sends to the render UI node. And this is what we're going to do now. We're going to render a very simple UI based on the data we got. So a nice FactBranch feature is that whatever data you have here, you can try to generate a simple UI. And that way you don't have to write any HTML code here. You just generate it, and then you can edit it however you like. For example, move the name up to here, and you see it updates here automatically. It also detected that the items is an array, and so it turned it into a nice list. So at this point, I'm quite happy with the output. Let's create the custom card in Dixa. And we're going to do that by, so we'll find a step-by-step guide in our trigger config inside the data pipeline. Here's the step-by-step guide. And basically, we just have to go to Settings, Integrations, and create a custom card. I'm going to give it FactBranch as a title. And then we're gonna copy paste a bunch of values here. So the hook URL, method stays at get. We want authorization header as the method. User bearer token. Gonna copy paste the bearer token. This token tells FactBranch which data pipeline to use. And the final step is to copy paste the template content. The template content actually renders the output in your Dixa custom card. So once that's done, we hit save changes. And if I now go back to a conversation, you see that FactBranch custom card loads, and you see the same information we just queried from our demo API. So this is how you set up a connection to a REST API endpoint using FactBranch. You should head over to factbranch.com and start your 14-day free trial today. If you have any questions, just send an email to support@factbranch.com or visit our documentation at factbranch.com/docs.